DC and Warner Brothers decided to drop 2 comic book trailers at Comic-Con. I thought it might have been 3 with Wonder Woman 84, and that would have really ruined my day and also the next day, so I appreciate the restraint. So let's talk about Shazam though, what will end up being the 7th film in the DCEU. Though it's not officially called that, Warner Brothers have yet to name it anything, which is really weird, because now it's been quite a long time. Also, some of these movies might not be canon anymore, or at least parts of them aren't. Look, they're going through some stuff, alright, and it's complicated. We don't even know if Ben Affleck is still Batman. He doesn't seem into it, but who knows? Anyways, let's talk about this new trailer. The Easter eggs, the links to the comics, Shazam's powers, the villain, and the many hints towards the wider DCEU, though it's not officially called that, and also probably more things also. So potential spoilers for the film. Let's just roll up our sleeves and get into it. I'm gonna leave my sleeves down if that's alright, because it's a little bit cold where I am. I hope that's okay. Right, so it's fairly evident from the get-go that this story is pretty much ripped straight out of Jeff Johns' New 52 Shazam run, which I, for one, think is a great idea. An aspect of Batman v Superman that I did not enjoy was that how it's a weird mishmash of multiple iconic storylines, none of which were done to their full potential. That movie managed to do both The Dark Knight Returns and Death of Superman, but not very well. Shazam though, Shazam exclamation mark! That takes a solid comic storyline, it's a fairly straightforward origin tale, and just runs with it. What I like about this origin story is though, sure, it's got a lot of the stuff that we've seen before, testing the powers, finding out who you really are deep down or whatever, probably, I don't know. But it's doing it in a different way. I mean, there's elements of Spider-Man with a kid being a superhero, but having him turn into a grown man, that's a whole different angle. If though you've ever read the New 52 origin of Shazam, formerly Captain Marvel, but now Captain Marvel is Captain Marvel, and the other Captain Marvel is now Shazam, you'll see that this trailer hits all the major beats. Billy Batson is an orphan kid, he's fed up with the world, he's passed from foster family to foster family, becoming more and more disillusioned. He's then, however, finally taken in by a good family who've also adopted a bunch of other kids. He doesn't want a bar of it though, he's all like, family doesn't mean anything and I hate the universe. Bah! When though his brother, Freddie Freeman, who in some comic book incarnations is Captain Marvel Jr., when he's bullied, Billy steps in. Meanwhile, whilst all this is happening, and I'd love to get a version of this in the film, the Wizard Shazam is looking for someone to pass his powers on to. A being pure of heart, but he is having 0 luck. Everyone sucks, which is a good reflection for the real world, I feel. He keeps pulling in randos and being like, bah! No good. Meanwhile, Billy is chased down to a subway, and he pulls up in station where the Wizard Shazam lives, and reluctantly the wizard gives over his power. In the comic, he's not super happy about this. He's all, Billy, you're not a great bloke, but also you have potential, I guess. Plus, I'm fast running out of time, so I just gotta do this. Look, here are the powers. Just try not to kill anyone, yeah? Also, that wizard is played by Digimon Honsu. I don't know how to pronounce his name, I apologize, but he also plays the Fisherman King in Aquaman. Fun fact. And like we see in the trailer, he grabs his brother and they go eat a bunch of fast food and they test out his powers. I want to get back to powers in a bit. He even goes and trashes the bully's car. Meanwhile, Dr. Sivana is looking for all sorts of magic. And this seems like a good idea to talk about the villain of the film, because this is where the movie appears to deviate from the comic. The movie version of Dr. Sivana appears to be super enhanced, which is not traditionally the case. In the New 52, he's a man looking for a way to save his family with magic. The only ability he's granted is being able to see magic after he's severely electrocuted in the head after digging up Black Adam's tomb. This magic that's bestowed upon him eventually withers him up, so he resembles more the original comic book version of that character, but here it appears the Mark Strong version is granted super strength. It's good though to see Mark Strong finally take on a comic book role. In addition to Kick-Ass, Green Lantern, Kingsman the good one, Kingsman the bad one. He probably did another one, but I don't think so. I think I got them all. That first confrontation where he catches a punch, in the past, that was a moment with Black Adam. Black Adam, by the way, is going to be played by Dwayne Skyscraper Johnson, as he was cast years ago, well before Captain Marvel, and he's said to be getting his own solo movie. It's been said though that he won't be showing up in Captain Marvel, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does. This movie already hints at the wider DCEU, though it's not officially called that, in a big way. For one, Freddie Freeman has a big collection of superhero memorabilia. When we first see him, he's wearing an Aquaman t-shirt, and he's got a toy Superman on the shelf behind him. Interesting to note that that Superman toy is wearing the Superman jocks. That might be a hint that those jocks are going to turn up in the future, or it might just be that that's the comic book version of Superman that exists within this comic book universe. That Batarang also, I don't think that's a replica. And if it is, it's a very good one. It looks exactly like the one that gets thrown at the Flash by Bruce Wayne in that scene where it's a good thing that it is the Flash, or Bruce Wayne would have blinded a boy with no friends. I guess though Batman throws enough of these things that you'd be able to dig one out of a wall or a criminal and sell it online easily. Freddy also has a book titled something like The Impact Superheroes Have on Our Society and Future. Also, he's got a drawer with a stack of newspapers dating back to Superman's first appearance in 2013. There's a copy of the Daily Planet, the newspaper Clark Kent and Lois Lane write for, even though Clark Kent had a funeral with an open casket and everyone saw the body, but now he's back from the dead. But hey, whatever, I guess. There's also an image of the World Engine that battered down a big chunk of Metropolis, a nod to Lex Luthor. The last time we saw him was on a boat, and the audience, including myself, groaned that we're moving forward with this version of the character. Or maybe we aren't, who knows, because some things are completely ignored. Like how Clark Kent's alive again, and nobody seems to question it, even though everyone saw his dead body. There's also an article on what's Superman's real agenda, which was a fair question for a while. I mean, he knocked down a lot of buildings, and then he snapped somebody's neck in a very violent and public event, and then people watched him fly away after a bomb exploded that he was standing next to. Yes, I know in the Batman v Superman extended cut, he helped some people out, but when I saw this in the cinema, it was a very strange moment. Anyways, none of that matters. He's nice now since that electrified box brought him back to life. There's also been rumors that he's going to be showing up in Shazam. I would love that if he did. Acting as a kind of mentor to Billy Batson. Actually, there's a comic where they become friends and they do some superhero stuff together. And then Superman finds out that he's just a boy that a wizard gave powers to. So he goes to the wizard and the wizard's all, welcome to my very mystical room. And Superman's all, you gave superpowers to a child. Are you an idiot? Anyways, it's great. I'd love to see it, but we probably won't get that in this movie. Oh, also in that drawer, there's an article from the Gotham Free Press about Superman with a picture of Superman. Plus, there's also what looks like a bullet that pinged off him. Also, Billy Batson says, Caped Crusader stuff. A little bit of a bloody wink and a nod towards Batman. But let's get into the powers of Shazam. Now, I know in the trailers we get hints of what he's capable of. He can fly. I mean, sort of. He can actually fly. We just don't really see it here. He's bulletproof. He has super strength. He's also capable of shooting energy, which we see him do charging phones. Shazam, though, is actually Billy Batson at his full potential, plus on top of that, extra powers. When Billy Batson grows up in most versions, he just looks exactly like Shazam. We saw that in Kingdom Come. So he's not transformed into a different person when he's Shazam. I mean, he sort of is, but it's more like he's a souped up version of himself. His full range of powers, though, are summoned from the extra-dimensional beings, the gods of the earth. They include Solomon, who's all about wisdom. He gets photographic recall, the ability to read and speak languages, do math real good. Plus he has clairvoyance and hypnosis. Hercules gives him strength. Atlas gives him stamina, meaning he doesn't need to sleep, eat, or breathe. Plus he's very difficult to tire out, which must be nice. I'm tired. Tired all the time. I'm tired right now. I'm so tired. Zeus gives him resistance to magic. I mean, not fully, because, you can still hit him with magic, but also interdimensional travel, sorcery, and advanced healing. Achilles gives him courage, which breaks down into optimism and invulnerability. They don't seem courage related, but hey, at least Achilles didn't give him his shit leg. And Mercury gives him speed and flight. You actually see a bunch of empty seats behind the wizard, hinting at all of these dudes. So basically, Shazam is Superman, but with magic. Also, as far as weaknesses go, he doesn't really have any, though he can be beaten to death, and he is vulnerable to various magicuses. What's the plural of magic? Magic Eye? Hey, remember Magic Eye? Look at this picture. It's a little bit of an Easter egg. Can you do Magic Eye? I actually once trained myself to do it, but let me tell you this. It's really not worth it. Also, he's actually able to pass on his abilities to others. In the New 52, he gifts all his siblings with his powers, and with that, they beat the shit out of Black Adam. It's pretty great. This next thing is just a small observation about the trailer. I think he hates beer. When they exit the shop after stopping a robbery, he's got a 6-pack of beer on him, and then in the next shot, he's got all junk food. So I think they try beer, decide it's terrible, and then get a bunch of other stuff instead. Alright, a few more things before wrapping this up. What I liked about this trailer is that this movie appears to have been filmed in real places. For some of Batman v Superman and a lot of Justice League, it just looks like nobody's standing anywhere. But this film takes place in Philadelphia. We know that from this sign in the subway that says Market Frankfurt Line. And also we've seen from set photos that a lot of this was filmed in real outdoor or indoor locations. Also, there's been a lot of comparisons to this movie and Big. I think they're 100% leaning into this. I hope they do that piano dance bit in addition to this dance. What's that dance called? All the kids do it. What's his name? I don't know what it is. Also, Billy Batson mentions that he doesn't know how to pee in the suit, which has been a bit of a running situation with superhero costumes. Notoriously, they are very uncomfortable and you cannot go to the bathroom in them. Chrissy Bale actually had this advice for Ben Affleck when he took on the role.
Make sure they put a zipper in that suit. I did 3 movies with no zipper in my outfit.
Now, I know some people are a little annoyed with DC going lighter in tone with their recent movies compared to when they kicked things off with Man of Steel, but Shazam, I feel, is the perfect fit for that. This movie seems like both a good representation of the character and looks like it could also be a bit of a fun time. This kind of tone and look, it certainly wouldn't work for all of the characters, but here, yeah, it looks fun. What did you think of the Shazam trailer though? And is there anything from it worth pointing out that I have missed? Also, what are you looking forward to most? This or Aquaman? Please leave a comment below if you want to, or, don't. That's fine also. Speaking of Aquaman, there's a trailer breakdown for that also on my channel, along with some other upcoming Comic-Con videos. So subscribe and like and bell icon if you're keen for any of that. And also this Monday on my podcast, The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows, we're getting into all the big Comic-Con news. Shazam, Aquaman, Godzilla, Wonder Woman, Venom, Fantastic Beasts, but it's also Harry Potter. 2. James Gunn got fired. All the big news. That's linked below along with everything else, but you can also find all of that compiled at planetbroadcasting.com. But thanks for watching this. I appreciate it. Take care.